This is what greeted me last night when I started watching the evening news. Not very good for trying to fly this weekend. Um, Last Tuesday morning, I got up and the first thing I did was go to YouTube and start looking at videos on hand launching the Mini Talon. Uh, it was time. I hadn't really delved deeply into that. A little bit thought about it, of course, but hadn't really attacked that problem yet. It wasn't time. Tuesday morning was time. And when I got over on YouTube, I simply typed in Mini Talon launch, hit enter. And I just started down these videos. Yeah, you can see the red line along the bottom of them where I have watched them. Yep. Some others here. There'll be many more. So basically, after about an hour and 10 or 20 YouTube Mini Talon launch videos, I have no fear anymore of launching the Mini Talon. Yeah, there could be problems from me not throwing it correctly. It could be a big problem if the ESC isn't calibrated well and it just doesn't go up to full power. I don't think that's the case. I no longer even fear that I will throw it badly. I think it's going to be easy to throw. So at the time, it was appropriate for me to start really honing in on the launching of the Mini Talon Tuesday morning. That's what I did. Like I say, within an hour, I was like, okay, throwing the Bixler first is no problem whatsoever, and throwing the Mini Talon is no problem whatsoever either. Now then, this particular video right here showed me something else. I know I can't, I don't think I'm supposed to play somebody else's video, but I think I can scroll up through it where he describes what almost made him crash. See if I can find it. And what it is he forgot to take his cover. There it is. Because he was so excited after a long wait, he forgot to take his PDOT tube cover off of his airspeed sensor. PDOT tube, pilot tube. People call it different things. I called it PDOT tube from the Navy. And you can see his right here. I said, wow, no, I hadn't done anything about that. You're supposed to cover the tube and RDU for arming so that it calibrates properly. So I said, wow, looks like he's taken a piece of shrink wrap about the correct size and put glue in the front of it, shrink wrapped it a little bit, shrunk it a little bit with a heat gun, and that's what he's using for a cover for his PDOT tube during calibration. I said, wow, that's a good idea. Also, this video showed me that even though he never took the cover off of the tube, he didn't crash. It was not a great launch for him, but he didn't crash. So again, after watching all of these videos, I have no fear of throwing the Mini Talon anymore. There it is again. You can see the cover right there on the tube. He forgot to take it off. And yes, I I don't know that that was caused by the cover on the tube. Maybe, maybe not. But again, after watching a plethora of mini Talon launch videos, and the ones with the bungee launcher, catapult, not so much. I was more into the hand launches. So by the time I finished watching a bunch of these, there's some more. This is a launch and a crash, but it's not a launch during crash. He crashed it later after the launch. Some bungee launches, they were interesting. I didn't do so many of the bungee launches, but like I say, just, I'd say an hour, maybe at most 20 videos. And my fear of the propeller on the Mini Talon, my insecurity from never having launched the Mini Talon just were completely gone. So by noon Tuesday, I was ready to launch the Mini Talon with confidence.
And this is the little PDOT tube cover I made because of that video. It's just some shrink tubing. I took a piece, this blue shrink tubing, and I just shrunk it down, and it's just perfect to go over it and to make sure no air comes in the front, and also to hopefully keep me aware that it's on there. I just took a little red shrink tubing and am running that over the top of it. Actually, if I take it off and then put the folded part in, then it works perfectly. The little red gives me an indication that it's on there, so hopefully I don't forget it's on there. But as you saw in the video, he forgot it was on there, but it didn't actually cause a crash. I'm probably going to get me some little orange ribbon and put on it like all the PDOT tubes on our airplanes and stuff in the Navy had on them, just for kicks and grins. It will also be added to my checklist to be taken off so that I don't forget it on there. But I thought that was something good I got out of those videos, besides becoming confident to throw this thing. It's kind of hard to throw something that's so expensive. Everybody says you can get another Mini Talon easily. Bullshit. I've looked them up. They're $200 or $300 if you can find them. Everybody's just getting a mint for them. I'm not going to pay $200 to $300 for something that should cost about $79. I'll wait until they're in stock at Ready Made RC again and get one for less than $100. And they aren't frequently in stock there. So, also, I have been just doing some keep busy work this week on the Mini Talon. Just putting some Loctite on the screws for the servos. Anywhere there's a screw, I've been Loctiting them. I've also made a new plan on the Skyhunter. 2 things I need to do on the Skyhunter. One of which is to replace this servo. I didn't like the way it was working, and one viewer politely told me that he wouldn't trust that servo. It was acting funky in one direction, so I ended up ordering a replacement from Race Day Quads. I ordered multiple replacements because I also started on the Skyhunter wing I disconnected, or this was just taped on disconnected the antennas, and I was getting ready to dig out this Crossfire receiver and replace it with a Dragon Link when I went, wait a minute, I've got a whole other Skyhunter over there in the box. I'm just going to take the left wing out of it and build it up with a Dragon Link receiver, and I can use whichever wing, left wing, on the platform I want. I can fly with this Crossfire, testing Crossfire. This doesn't have the new 6.12 firmware in it, which I understand does a little better for telemetry. We'll see. But there's going to be firmwares after 6.12. And hopefully, even though the power out of this will never match the power out of the Dragon Link transceiver for telemetry, I want to play with both of them. That's my point here. So I'm going to need another servo for the wing in the box over there as I built it up. So I ordered enough servos for that. I actually ordered 9 servos, to tell you the truth, because it won't match this servo exactly, and I know there'll be some little differences in the servos in this particular plane with this kind of servo in the right wing and then one of the new ones in the left wing. It may have some roll authority in one direction heavier than the other. I'll have to play with the linkage to try to make the 2 servos act the same, because they won't be matched. They won't be the same servo that work exactly the same. But that's why I ordered 3 out of the 6 for the other Skyhunters. That way, the wing I do build up with the Dragon Link receiver in, I will have 2 identical ones in the second Skyhunter, and then a third one for the elevator in the Skyhunter. That's 4. And then the mini Skyhunter needs 5 servos. 1 for the elevator, 1 for each rudder, and 2 for ailerons. So that's where I came up with 9. So I'm going to be building up the mini Skyhunter. I'm going to be building up the second Skyhunter for keep busy work as I get ready to maiden these airplanes. I may need a U-Haul van, no matter if my wife or somebody else is helping me, because I'll be taking so many to maiden one day. It could be 2 Skyhunters, a mini Talon, a Bixler, and a Nano Talon. Nano Talon, he said. Yes, I have this MRO, Mayan Robotics, Nano Talon that I bought early in 2020. It's been sitting here over a year, because after we got some extra COVID checks, I decided, well, I can spend the money to actually buy some models and build up my own drone airplane to fly before I fly this one. So this one's been sitting here a long time, and it's still my desire to fly the Bixler I built 8 years ago first, then the mini Talon, then the Skyhunter, and then I'll get to this one whenever. This is just a crazy thing going on with this one. Let me show you up on the screen.
These are the orders I placed with Mayan Robotics in 2020. There were 3 of them. Real quick, let's hit something real quick. These 2 orders right here are for a complete setup for Mayan Robotics Ardu Pilot flight controllers. There's a power module you get for them, airspeed sensor, telemetry radio. I was still using the 915 at that time. This FTDI is just to program these radios, so I only bought that one time. And then this is the flight controller itself here, $157, not the $60 that Maytag cost. This is, and they have no OSD in them. It's nice you can get them pre-sorted, which I did. So I did buy, at first I did buy the MRO Nano Talon EVO for $549. The complete autopilot, I added up that top one. I guess I need to take that $17 out of it. But a complete Ardu autopilot system from MRO costs $323, just a little bit more than the Maytag. So when I found the Maytag later, it was wonderful. But you can see I ordered the Nano Talon in 4/26 of 2020. It came in. When it came in, I had no experience with the Nano Talon, Mini Talon, whatever. I thought I was ordering a Mini Talon. Well, it came in the door. Of course, it looked like this. By the way, notice real quick the difference in the price I paid. I paid $549. Now, if you buy one from them completely built, might as well call it $900. I don't know in April of 2020 if I would have spent almost the whole check on a Nano Talon or not. But I confused Nano Talon with Mini Talon because I had never seen either one of them in April of 2020. And I'm sure I wouldn't pay this for one now. So when it came in the door and I saw it, I went, damn, that's about half the size I was expecting. And I went through the stuff and I learned that the Nano Talon and the Mini Talon are two different things. So I set this completely built Nano Talon aside and decided, this was just after we locked down here for 17 months. My wife and I hardly went out of the house for 17 months. She's a teacher. She worked out of the living room here doing her courses and stuff online. And so there were some problems with the Nano Talon. I'm not going to get deep into it, but I will tell you they wired it incorrectly. They wired it for Ardu plane previous to version 3.8. And the VTELs are wired opposite in all firmwares before 3.8 than they are in 3.8 and 3.8 on. It was a simple thing of moving channel 2 to 4 and 4 to 2, which I sent them a video about it. You know, they never confirmed that that was the truth with 3.8. They basically ignored me, which might have been one of the reasons I just the Nano Talon aside and said, I'll fly that someday after I build my own. So this is the end of April. And you can see the 1st of June, virtually a month later. This is almost the 5th month. So all of May, I was going back and forth figuring out why my stability didn't work right. And then I figured it out, sent them a video. I wasn't asking them to refund anything or anything. I was just basically asking them to verify my findings. They didn't. I have to verify my findings with that Nano Talon when I first throw it in the air this time. Had I thrown it in the air the way it came to me, its stabilization was exactly the opposite of what it should be. If it nosed down on the launch, and I launched it in fly-by-wire A, which I wouldn't have at that time. Might be one of my saving graces. But as soon as I got it up in the air and went to fly-by-wire A, it would have dropped the nose and immediately dropped the elevator and dove even harder for the ground. Not having a lot of experience, it would likely have become foam snow. I wasn't bitching at MRO about that. I was just politely, I still have the emails and the videos I sent them. I was still just politely telling them what I had found, what my fix was. They never replied to make me feel confident of their of my changes. And after that, by this time, I had figured that out, and I decided all the problems with the Nano Talon. I was just going to find me a mini Talon someplace, which I had trouble with. I ordered one from eBay or Banggood, and it didn't ship for 4 months or so, and I was told by the person that they had shipped it. In fact, they didn't. I ended up canceling that order and ordering another one, I think from Banggood. Anyway, the mini Talon that I've got over there that I've been building up recently didn't get here until fall of 2020. But I did order a complete autopilot system here for that mini Talon, and I also had ordered a TBS Caprahina 2. So I ordered a second one a month later for the Caprahina 2 here, both at about $300 and something. And I've never really ordered much more from MRO. I found Maytech flight controllers. These 2 complete systems are still sitting behind me in a box. Unknown what I'm going to do with them. I think I'm going to put one of them on my rover, a $300 setup on a damn ground rover. And I don't know what I'm going to do with the other. I supposed I would put it on my antenna tracker, which I never got fully working and would like to go back to that someday. And that's $300. $600, $700 total on those 2, and one will be a rover autopilot, and one will be an antenna tracker system, which of course doesn't need the airspeed sensor. Neither one of them do. But anyway, just still getting a little upset with all that. But I wasn't upset when I found the Maytech flight controllers. So, and I think I did actually order in 2021 from them some 433 radios. Yeah, I ordered 2 433 telemetry radios from them so that I could convert the 915 in the Nano Talon over to 433 when I got my first Crossfire set up, which was later. Let me see if I can find the Crossfire setup. So that would probably be before this date I found the Crossfire, but let me see what I can find on that. So February 26th of 2021, I ordered my first Crossfire. I ordered a Nano. I ordered a full-size Crossfire transmitter because I was ordering a TX16S Max, and I wanted Crossfire equipment to go with it. I really wanted Dragon Link, but they don't sell Dragon Link. Now, to make a long story short, that radio didn't work well. I ended up getting a second radio shipped in. It ended up both this radio and the one they exchanged for me, the 4-in-1 module in both of those radios was bad, and that's why the Crossfire transmitter ordered right here would not work in the radio. So that's how Crossfire got in the mix in February of this year. Since February, let's see what, well, that didn't get all worked out until, let's see, this right here was February, March. Well, I guess this was the exchange on the radio right here. I finally, after a month of messing with them, you can see right here, got them to refund the Crossfire transmitter, because this order right here is where I ordered the TBS Crossfire Micro transmitter version 2, so that I did have a working TX16S Crossfire transmitter and some Crossfire receivers. That was a big fight with them. They don't do refunds. It was a hassle. I finally had to get Crossfire to authorize the refund with this company. And of course, then after that, they gave a store credit only, reluctantly, for $267 for the Crossfire full-size transmitter I sent back. After I found the 4-in-1 module bad, almost 6 or 8 months after that, I ended up getting another full-size transmitter in addition to the full Micro TX2 that I use on my second TX16S SE that I bought for like $100. Then put a 4-in-1 module in it in place of the 1-in-1, whatever the small protocol module is, multi protocol module is in the SE. I put a full 4-in-1 in it that I had in my hand for the other radio. So I have 2 radios and 2 Crossfire transmitters. But this was what I bought with that store credit just to be done with that company. I bought 2 more Nano receivers. I bought 6 of the extended antennas. I bought 3 diversity receivers, and whatever else my credit is with that company. It's there. Who cares? I don't buy from them anymore. I try not to buy. And my problem that I didn't see, they said store credit only. So that's how the Crossfire items came in the door in February of this year. So we got February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. About 10 months that you've seen in my video of me working with brand new radio, brand new Crossfire, a Mini Talon, a Skyhunter, Maytech flight controllers for the first time, iNav, all sorts of telemetry radios, and all of that in 10 months. It was a handful, but that's the way it all went. Now we'll just close this out. I just keep this. I like I say, I don't plan on doing much with that company anymore. But that's how all the Crossfire stuff came in here. And only about a month ago, the Dragon Link came in here, and I worked that up and got the telemetry I want. And of course, it is, let's see, June, July, August, September, October, November. It's now 5 months since I had the brain concussion in the middle of all this 10 months, and basically lost 5 of those 10 months. not completely, but I wasn't all myself. I'm getting back where I'm in fair shape now. I still do use the wrong word from time to time, and as soon as I do it, I know it's a brain hiccup. I know it's from the concussion, but I I would consider myself 90% over the concussion at this point. So there was a lot done in a short period of time there with all this stuff. Now, I also
have the ready-made RC Recruit, which is completely worked up and ready to maiden itself. Has been. There's no flight controller in this. I think there may be a little stabilization. It's been so long since I've worked with it, I don't remember. Come on, open. Yeah, there's a little stabilization board in it. This is my Velcro for my battery. And I've got that completely worked up and ready to maiden. I thought I'd maiden the Mini Talon and some of the others and fly the Bixlers and stuff before I maiden this one. But I've got a Runcam 5 or whatever to go right in this hole, and I've got this Runcam here on this video transmitter. That's all ready to go. I think I did videos on this one. And I also have the Caprahenia 2. I don't have the winglets on it because I haven't done much for this. I've got almost everything I need for it. The camera for here and the camera for here I had already bought. I don't have a flight controller for it yet. I was going to use, when I bought this, I hadn't found Matek flight controllers at that point. I was going to use one of the MROs here in this equipment bay, and the equipment bay is not deep enough to have pins on the flight controller, so you're going to have to wire straight to it. I don't think I'm going to use one of the MRO flight controllers for this because, again, the OSD problem. OSD is just a form of telemetry. Therefore, I want it. Always have. Always thought overlaying the video with telemetry data was one of the neatest things on the planet, even neater than getting it to your ground station. So this one probably will be a while. Now this one, if anybody knows about them, is much heavier than the Recruit and is pretty heavy flying wing and is fairly long distance, long flying and everything. It will be wonderful when I finish this up. I haven't even put the ailerons on it yet. If I remember right, the ailerons are yellow or orange. But it's sitting there. So I've got a lot of keep busy work going on. But as far as the Mini Talon and Skyhunter or Sky Hunters are concerned, I've got the parts on order for the servos for the second Skyhunter. And that will fix the first Skyhunter. Putting a Dragon Link in the first Skyhunter will get me going on that one. I do have telemetry radios to play with on the first Skyhunter with the Crossfire setup in it that I'll be doing. But as far as this Mini Talon is concerned, I'm anxious to throw it now. Yeah, I'm anxious to take $500 or $600, whatever it costs. I haven't added it all up, and throw it. That was kind of foreign to me, but if it's a model airplane, a flying model airplane, I guess you have to throw it. But taking $500 or $600 in a model that I'm fairly proud of it, and throwing it for potentially just hitting the ground is a little foreign to me right now until I have the positive experiences of it working, which I think it will now. Then I will be more and more ready to throw it after I've thrown it the first time. So I have no qualms about throwing this in the air at this point. I'm anxious to do it. Like I say, I can't really do this Monday through Friday unless there's some reason Pam doesn't go to work and I can use the little Kia to get to the field, even if she doesn't go with me. And again, I think some negative comments chased off my other person that was going to help me last Sunday, or perhaps it was my missing the deadline so badly last Sunday that I thought I would. The computer was supposed to be here Friday. I was supposed to work it up Saturday and then fly Sunday. Best laid plans of mice and men don't always work out. But again, even in the back of my mind right now, if you can rent a U-Haul van for $19 a day, I don't know that I won't rent one so I can get all these things inside of it and go to the field solo on a Monday through Friday, because today it's 70 degrees here. Last night, overnight, it was 57 for a low, whereas this past week, I think it was Wednesday night, was 28 degrees overnight. Global warming's just screwing this area up badly. We're having, let's see, Tuesday it was like 5 degrees lower than normal average. Wednesday it was like 10 or 12 degrees lower than normal. Thursday was pretty cold. It only got in the mid 40s Thursday, which is normal for around here. For this time of the year, it's a little low. It was like 14 degrees lower than normal. Today is like 30 degrees higher than normal. So the weather around here is all screwed up, especially as we start into winter, when the massive changes in temperatures cause all sorts of stuff, like those tornadoes in Kentucky last night. Bless those poor people's heart. So I don't think I have any qualms throwing the Sky Hunter anymore if I get it up and ready to go. Just watching all those launch videos for the Mini Talon. I have no qualms about throwing this one now. And I think it's got me where I have no qualms about the Sky Hunter, because I will have thrown the Bixler, maybe this one multiple times if it doesn't crash before I do the Sky Hunter. So, lots of things going on. Oh, also I forgot. Last week, while I was working up to maiden the Mini Talon, I put this back together and got it ready to fly at the same time I was going to maiden the Mini Talon last Sunday, so I could start checking out telemetry radios with this platform like I had stated. And if you'll notice, this motor extension is bent, because I made sure I had everything ready to take to the field Sunday with the Mini Talon, the Sunday I didn't fly. And it kind of turned upside down and crashed and broke a couple of my props. I have to get some more of them, and I got to take that motor extension plate off again and hit it with a hammer, beat it back down straight, and then I'll be able to do this one again. There's a problem with this platform for some reason. I think I figured it out. I think all these ESCs are on soft mode as far as ramping up when you apply power, and they need to be coming up much more quickly than they are. But I will get this worked out too. So there's a whole lot of things. Plus on the, I haven't said much about this besides working up the Dragon Link. I have two TX16S's I sort of want to turn over to, what is it? The new firmware for it. They're on OpenTX. What's the name of the other one? EasyTX? I can't remember exactly. But I don't know that I'm going to do that before I've maiden these airplanes. So there's more going on around here than meets the eye. People think I'm just sitting around doing nothing. And They're not quite right. Anyway, that's just some updates on what's going on. I will hopefully a weekend very soon maiden these airplanes. I'm ready. I'm more than ready. I'm completely confident about maidening them. I actually think they're going to work. I actually think the Bixler's going to work. Although I think it's heavy, I think it's going to work. It might not. I don't care about the Bixler. I'm going to throw it first in case it does work. I can maiden my drone I built 8 years ago. Same day, minutes after, whether it flies correctly or not, the Bixler may turn into foam snow. I don't care. I'll just take the Pixhawk out of it and the Easy UHF. I've sort of moved on from all that anyway. I'm going to take the Mini Talon at the same time. I don't know that I will have a Skyhunter to take all three at the same time, and all three of those are never going to go in the cab of a Ranger small truck. I need a camper cover or a tonneau cover for the truck, but that's not where I've been putting my money lately. But I am ready to throw the Bixler, whether it turns into foam snow or flies, which if it flies and does a 360 on a return to home at 150 feet, I will be joyous and I'll bring it to the ground, and minutes later I'll throw the Mini Talon. The Skyhunter, if I don't get it ready to go out with the Bixler and the Mini Talon, that's not a big deal to me. It will come soon. The thing is like I say, I'm getting so anxious to maiden these planes now, where I was anxious not to maiden them for reasons. But on Tuesday, when I finally approached my launching the Mini Talon and worked up that idea and how I was going to do it successfully, I am actually thinking about renting a U-Haul van, even if I have to go out solo and do all this by myself, totally alone. So that's some of the updates. What's going on around here? There's not going to be a lot of videos on all this stuff. I don't need to give you a video of me putting Loctite on bolts and nuts for any of these platforms. I don't really need to do a video on building up the second wing. I'll do a short one on it that says it has been accomplished, building up the second wing for the Skyhunter, or even the whole Skyhunter, the Mini Skyhunter. But there will be. I'll still be moving forward on all this stuff, believe it or not. So I'm going to end this here. That's just what's been going on, what will be going on. My biggest thought right now is to throw the Bixler and throw the Mini Talon into the air. And I'm going to do it just as soon as I logically can. Thank you, guys.